Hi, I'm Sandy Highland, Business Development Manager with Sacramento Delta. I've been here for 15 years.
And I am Shelby. I'm a property manager here at Sacramento Delta Property Management. I have been here for 3.5 years and in the industry for 8.5.
So what we want to talk to you about right now is a frequently asked question, and that is rent control. Does it apply to me, and how do I know? So Shelby's going to take it from here.
It is a very loaded question, and I will start off by saying that if you have any questions in regards to rent control, or if you are questioning your current tenant or property, I always refer you to an attorney if you really need those answers to whatever question that you have. The current rent control went into place 2 years ago.
2019.
Oh my gosh, 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been dealing with it, especially because of COVID has kind of overlapped with rent control. And so we have policies that are state of emergency, and then we have rent control policies that kind of overlap. And so a lot of the questions that we get recently is a lot of people that have a single family home that just assume that they are under rent control, and they are not. So if you own a single family home and you are not a part of a real estate LLC, then you are not, or you are completely exempt from rent control. That does not include you. The people that are included in rent control are any multifamily property that's over 15 years old, duplexes that are over 15 years old, or properties that are owned by a real estate LLC. So you can only ask a tenant to vacate if they're in a rent-controlled property for a number of reasons. Those being that you are an immediate family member or yourself is going to be moving into those units, that you're remodeling or renovating due to necessity and not just free will. And actually, after a renovation or a major repair, you actually have to offer the property back to the prior tenant at the same rate that they were paying. That also includes rent caps. Every county, every jurisdiction is completely different. Inflation rates fluctuate annually. As we know, last year I believe it was 3%. This year it is 8%. So it's always best. I always like to use the best practice to keep it under 10% because we have been in a continued state of emergency since all of the Sonoma wildfires and things like that. So I really don't ever recommend to raise it any more than 10%. That's really rolling the dice, and only because a tenant could potentially reach out to tenant protection and say, hey, I think this is not legal. And then we have to go back and we have to reissue the notice. We have to do all of these things. So for single family homes, I always like to kind of keep in line the same fundamentals of rent control. That way it's kind of the most fair. Yeah. But when it comes to asking a resident to vacate, they have completely different jurisdictions. You can't ask a tenant to vacate with a single family home with no cause. Multifamily, it's a lot more difficult.
And I actually, really, when all of that was implemented, I actually wasn't, too concerned about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because my experience in 15 years here is that our owner clients don't usually raise more than 10%. They don't ever price gouge. They're in it for the long haul. I think we were a little more concerned about the just cause clauses in that than we were about the rent control. I think a lot of our owner clients are very fair and very reasonable when it comes to rent. And
a lot of that has to do with conversations with
right.
your property manager of what is reasonable, what's not. I think being educated and knowledgeable about what's going on in the industry and giving our clients the best practice advice
That's right.
is how we've been able to stay successful through the whole process, especially during COVID.
And how it's another number one job of ours to keep us all out of court. So
it's the main goal.
The main goal, yeah.
Main goal.
We're going to make sure to keep you out of court.
Yeah.
So, and tenants
because if not, we pay for it in the
right.
first 3 years. If
That's
a tenant defaults in the first 3 years that you sign with us, then we pay the court
for
costs.
that eviction if that happens. But
it's our guarantee.
I mean, we want to err on the side of caution for that reason, and also, just to be fair to everyone. It's our goal to make sure that that we have our owner clients' fiduciary or responsibility to our owner clients on the fiduciary level in mind, but also we want to be fair to the tenants. So we're gonna be that middle of the road voice in your ear.
Yeah, a happy tenant makes a happy owner.
That's right.
It does.